This woman is evil. I mean, absolutely demonic. Do you all remember that YouTube short I made about that Utah mother, Kouri Richins, who laced her husband's vodka spritzer with 3 times the deadly amount of fentanyl? Eric Richins, her husband, would pass away the next day, and then she would have the nerve to write a children's book on widows with children and teaching those children to cope with a parent's death. That's right, the same mother who ended her children's father's life wrote a children's book teaching them to cope with death, teaching them to cope with the loss of a parent. Absolutely insane, absolutely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs type of stuff. But come to find out, when she laced her husband's drink with a fentanyl, that would not be the first time she tried to poison her husband. But before we get into that, you must be aware you are now within minutes of horror, and your only chances of survival is hitting that like button. With that being said, let's continue on with the video. At some point in Eric Richins' life, he had to have known he was marrying a gold digger. And I'm not talking about someone that just wants you to buy them meals and shoes and outfits. I mean, she put him in $2.5 million worth of debt. When it comes to the final boss of gold diggers, Kouri Richins is the absolute final boss. She is the final boss and that hidden secret boss. The Utah couple were actually facing multiple financial disagreements and were struggling with $2.5 million of debt. And it looks like a majority of this debt came from Kouri, who unbeknownst to Eric in September of 2020, discovered that his wife Kouri obtained and spent $250,000 worth of home equity line of credit on their home, withdrew $100,000 from Eric's bank accounts, and spent an excess of $30,000 in credit cards. And it doesn't stop there, because she put this man's whole entire business at risk. Kouri had also been appropriating distributions from Eric Richins' business, who operated a stone masonry business, for the purpose of making federal and state quarterly tax payments. But the only problem is, she was not making these payments, and the stolen tax payments totaled to almost $200,000. When Eric confronted Kouri, she did agree to repay him, but ultimately she was running this man dry of his money. Now, I do understand they're a married couple and what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine, but she was also taking from his own personal bank account. Like, my wife and I, we have a joint account and we both have our own personal accounts. Me going into her account and taking money, I would feel like that's stealing. Now, if my wife needed money and she didn't have any money, of course I'm going to go into my own account and give her whatever she needs. Just don't go into my account without me knowing, especially if you're going to go ahead and take $100,000 from my account. And this is what drives me crazy about this story, because I do believe they were married in 2010. They have 3 children. So were these signs always there, where she was always this money hungry, or did it just develop out of nowhere? Now, I don't want anybody to think I'm being sexist by calling this woman a gold digger. You can have men who are gold digger, you can have husbands who are gold diggers, you can have women who are gold diggers, wives. This woman is the absolute gold digger. But like I said, I need to know, were the signs always there? Did he marry the ultimate gold digger? Or did it just blossom out of nowhere? This story is absolutely mind-boggling. Now, the stolen taxes and the agreement to pay back the taxes happened in the beginning of September of 2020. But during that month when she was supposed to pay back the taxes, she was actually still pulling more money out of Eric's bank account and maxing out credit cards that she was not supposed to. Now, in October of 2020, just 1 month later, Eric finally decided he had enough and consulted a divorce lawyer and an estate planning lawyer, changing his will to form a living trust and placing his estate in control of his sister, Kouri Richins, for the primary benefit of his 3 children. He also transferred his partnership interest in the stone masonry business to the trust and replaced his wife Kouri as the beneficiary of his $500,000 life insurance policy with the trust. This man had some amazing foresight. He had to have known she was coming for his life next. Now, Kouri was unaware of all these changes taking place, but she also had some secrets of her own that Eric was unaware of. He was unaware that his wife had taken out at least 4 life insurance policies on him, nearly totaling $2 million. She was going to use Eric Richins' life to pay back all of her debt. In late January 2022, Kouri took out a new life insurance policy on her husband. It was issued the following month on February 4th. The next week, she obtained the illegal drug fentanyl, which for some reason she called it the Michael Jackson stuff. Why she called it that, I don't know. Maybe it makes you go, hee hee, after taking it, because Michael didn't die from fentanyl. But anyway, flash forward to Valentine's Day 2022, Kouri prepared a sandwich for Eric and placed it on the seat of his truck with a love note, which I'm assuming the note read, "I love you to death." Shortly after consuming the sandwich, Eric Richins broke out in hives and had difficulties breathing. Eric found his son's EpiPen and administered it to himself and slept. Eric Richins believed that he had been poisoned. Eric told his friend that he thought his wife was trying to poison him. After her husband survived this almost fatal poisoning, Kouri reached out again to contacts who helped her again obtain the illegal drug in late February, according to documents claiming that the fentanyl pills that she previously provided were not strong enough, and asked that she obtain some stronger fentanyl. Through this contact, Kouri arranged to meet another person at a gas station to buy fentanyl on February 26, 2022. On March 1st, her outstanding state and federal tax liability was $189,840, and she owed a hard money lender at least $1,847,760. She also owed her husband at least $515,000. She did not pay back her husband 1 cent as the debt grew, and as the debt grew more and more out of control, she called her hard money lender in arrangements to pay. Hours later, Kouri prepared her husband, Eric, a Moscow Mule cocktail laced with the deadly fentanyl. Now, less than a month ago, a couple weeks back, Eric said that his wife was trying to poison him, so I don't know why he would take any food or drinks from her, but I think she caught him off guard in a celebration moment. They were celebrating the closing of a house and they were very excited about this, so I think she handed him a drink and he gulped it down without realizing, hey, this woman poisoned me once before. Now, after Eric drinks the laced drink, this is Kouri's version of events that took place. Kouri told investigators that her husband drank the cocktail while in bed and she slept in one of the boys' bedrooms because the child was having night terrors. When she woke up around 3 a.m., Kouri said she returned to her room and found Eric cold to the touch, prompting her to call 911. While she told police she left her phone in her bedroom while she was taking care for her child, the status on her phone shows that it was locked and unlocked multiple times, and there was also movement recorded on the phone. In addition, tolls and phone billing data for the defendant's phone show that messages were received and sent during that time. I'm telling you, you cannot commit murder in this day and age. Technology will get you. It got Dennis Rader. Nobody knew who the BTK killer was, but his own downfall was technology. So anybody committing murder, your digital footprint is everywhere. Unfortunately, Eric Richins, father of 3, was pronounced dead on March 4th, 2022. Almost immediately, Kouri, a real estate agent, closed on a multi-million-dollar mansion that the couple had been arguing about. 2 days after his death, Kouri arranged for a locksmith to drill into her husband's safe. Eric's sister and trustee objected. Kouri became enraged and punched his sister in the face and neck. Eric's sister said she had a demonic look and pounced on her, clawing and ripping at her with this intense ferocity. Sheriff's deputies responded and called Eric Richins' estate planning lawyer from the scene. Here the defendant, Kouri Richins, learned for the first time of the existence of the Eric Richins Living Trust that was owned by his sister. Now, between 2022 and 2023, Kouri was promoting her book, Are You With Me? She was even going on TV stations talking about this book and how she's a widow and explaining how this is impacting her children and how this book is really helping them.
Comforting to them to know that, they're not living this life alone. Like, Dad is still here, it's just in a different way.
And as she was promoting this book, investigators were not finished with Kouri Richins just yet. April 2023, they got a search warrant for her phone. They pulled the text messages between her and an acquaintance talking about the buying and the selling of the fentanyl. On May 2nd, investigators reportedly interviewed the acquaintance, who faced multiple counts of possession of a controlled substance with the intent to distribute and other drug-related charges. Not so long after investigators spoke to the acquaintance, Kouri Richins was arrested, where she's currently sitting in a detention center for ending the life of her husband, Eric. Now, what's even crazier is that there was a third time that she tried to poison him. Eric called one of his sisters from a vacation in Greece with Kouri years earlier, claiming that she had made him a drink and he became violently ill. Sad to say, I don't know why Eric Richins would decide to stay around. There are some that say that Kouri Richins is extremely beautiful. Me personally, I don't see the attraction. I'm more into bigger women, but hey, everybody has their own preferences. But no matter what she looks like, no matter how attractive she actually is, there was definitely a problem there. He was definitely being abused financially, and it sounds like physically with all these times she tried to poison him. So he should have gotten out when he could, and maybe he would still be alive. But unfortunately, we do have a story where a father of 3 has lost his life, and a mother is possibly going to go to jail for the rest of her life. And we have 3 children who no longer have any parents. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.